$625,000, $1.25 million, $3.75 million. These are the five fire numbers in 2026. Multiply your annual spending by 25 and you have your target. Bill Bengen calculated it in 1994. The Trinity study confirmed it in 1998. The math has held up across nearly a century of historical market data, with one important caveat. The 4% rule was designed for a 30-year retirement, not a 50-year one. For early retirees, the safer number is closer to 3.5% FIRE. Financials independence, retire early, is the only retirement plan no employer offers. There is no pension, no employer match, no PBGC backstop. There is only your portfolio and the math you ran in 2017. Today, we walk through every FIRE tier, from lean at $25,000 to fat at $200,000 plus. Target portfolio, withdrawal rate, healthcare strategy, geographic arbitrage, and the part nobody on our financial independence likes to discuss, the loneliness and identity collapse that statistically hits roughly half of early retirees within 24 months of leaving work. $625,000 at 4%, $714,000 at 3.5%. Most lean fire practitioners aim for $700,000, $750,000 by their late 30s or early 40s and consider themselves done. There is no slack at this tier. A 4% withdrawal of $25,000 leaves zero room for sequence of returns risk in the first decade. You are 38. Retired at 36 after 14 years of saving 65% of your income as a software engineer in Austin. You moved here, a town of 4,200 in eastern Tennessee, because $25,000 a year goes 70% further than it did in Austin, and the property taxes are $840 instead of $11,000. You grow about 30% of your food. You drive maybe 6,000 miles a year. With $25,000 of taxable income, you qualify for maximum ACA subsidy. Your premium is often $0.50 per month. Your out-of-pocket maximum is $3,000, $5,000. The subsidy is calculated based on modified adjusted gross income, so lean fire retirees deliberately keep magi low, drawing from Roth and taxable accounts strategically. This is the structural reason lean fire works. Subtract the ACA subsidy and the math collapses. $1.25 million at 4%, $1.43 million at 3.5%. Most regular fire practitioners target $1.4 million as the round number. The 4% withdrawal rate is well tested at this spending level, with a 95% historical success rate over 30 years and approximately 90% over 50 years. You are 44. Retired at 41 after 18 years working at 3 software companies. Your spouse retired the same week. $1.4 million portfolio. 75% index funds, 20% bonds, 5% cash. You withdraw $50,000 annually. You travel about 3 months a year, not the luxury international travel that fills Instagram, but the slower, longer kind. A month in Mexico, 2 weeks driving the Pacific Coast Highway, a few weeks visiting your aging parents. The travel costs about $9,000 a year. ACA subsidies are smaller at this tier. With $50,000 magi for a couple, the subsidy might cover 60-70% of premiums rather than 95%. Going $1,000 over a threshold can cost you $5,000, $10,000 in subsidies in a single year. Regular fire retirees coordinate Roth conversions and capital gains, harvesting around the ACA thresholds with the same discipline more conventional retirees use around IRMA. You earned a comfortable upper middle class living. You stopped. The neighbors have a working age expectation when they ask what you do, and the answer, "I retired at 41, produces a small awkwardness in almost every conversation that follows. Some retirees lie. Others explain. The explainers are statistically happier, but they spend the first 18 months having the same conversation in slightly different forms with everyone they meet. Coast Fire, enough invested today that, with no further contributions, the portfolio will compound to traditional retirement adequacy by 65. A 30-year-old needs roughly $200,000. A 40-year-old needs $400,000. A 50-year-old needs $700,000. Barista Fire, enough invested to cover most expenses, but you take a part-time job specifically for healthcare benefits and supplemental income. The classic example is the early retiree working 25 hours a week at Starbucks for the health insurance. You are 42, you worked in technology for 16 years and accumulated $620,000. At 7% real returns, that compounds to approximately $1.7 million by 65 with no further contributions. Your annual living expenses are $48,000. You took a job as a barista 10 months ago. 28 hours a week, $19 hour, includes health insurance for you and your spouse. Total income $27,700. Your spouse works as a part-time librarian and contributes $24,000. Combined $51,700, which covers your $48,000 of expenses with a small buffer. Your portfolio compounds. You do not touch it. You will not touch it for 23 years. The math is designed to wait. This is the tier where the identity question is most thoroughly resolved, because you still have a job to point to. The job is not the career. The career is over. But the job, however modest, provides daily structure, coworkers, the answer to the small talk question. The retirement was not just financial, it was social. The part-time job replaces the social architecture that traditional retirees lose entirely. 2.5 to $3.75 million. Most Chubby Fire practitioners target $3 million. Our Chubby Fire, about 130,000 members, splits off from the main R financial independence community here. The conversations are different. Larger portfolios, different assumptions about international travel, constant discussions about private school for the kids. Most use 3.5% as their planning rate, not 4%. Many also use a guardrails approach. In strong markets, they take more. In weak markets, they cut spending 10 to 20%, deferring travel and home renovation. You are 49. Retired 3 years ago at 46 after 22 years in finance. Portfolio $3.2 million. You withdraw approximately $115,000 annually, a 3.6% rate. Your kids, 13 and 15, attend the local public high school, which is excellent. Annual spending. Housing $31,000, travel $22,000 for a family of 4, food and household $19,000, healthcare $14,000, discretionary $29,000. You volunteer twice a week at a wilderness conservation nonprofit. Your spouse teaches a yoga class, unpaid, twice a week. Neither activity is necessary. Both are necessary. Chubby Fire retirees pay full unsubsidized marketplace premiums, often $20,000, $32,000 a year for a family of 4 with $7,000 deductibles per person. Healthcare alone runs 12 to 18% of total spending. Some max HSA contributions during working years. By retirement, the HSA can hold $200,000, $400,000, all available tax-free, $5 million minimum at 4%. Most Fat Fire practitioners target $7-10 million for genuine spending flexibility. RF Fat Fire has about 580,000 members. The portfolios discussed are larger and more complex. Real estate, private equity, concentrated single stock positions, angel investments. Withdrawal rates often run 2.5-3.5% rather than 4%. The thinking shifts from don't run out to leave a meaningful inheritance. You are 52. Retired 5 years ago at 47 after a career in technology that included one liquidity event. Portfolio $9.4 million liquid, plus a $2.3 million primary residence and a $1.1 million vacation property. Withdrawal $245,000 annually, 2.6% from liquid. Travel runs $50,000, $80,000 in a typical year, more in a year with a family trip to Japan or Patagonia. 2 homes with carry costs of $48,000 between them. You sit on the board of an environmental nonprofit. You advise 3 early-stage startups, unpaid. You take a class at the local university every fall. Fat Fire doesn't require geographic arbitrage, but state income tax is meaningful. A Fat Fire retiree withdrawing $245,000 a year saves $15,000, $25,000 annually by living in Florida, Texas, Tennessee, or Nevada, rather than California, New York, or Massachusetts. Many keep 2 homes specifically to manage state tax residency. An arrangement audit rates have risen on in the last 5 years. The combined fire community on Reddit is approximately 4 million people. The most upvoted posts week after week are about portfolios crossing milestones. The least upvoted posts, the ones that occasionally surface and disappear quickly, are about regret. The pattern is consistent. Roughly 18 to 24 months into retirement, a meaningful subset of fire retirees post a version of the same realization. The spreadsheet was correct. The portfolio is performing as projected, and they are profoundly bored, occasionally lonely, and uncertain about what they are doing with their life. Behavioral economics research, including longitudinal data from the Health and Retirement Study, suggests that early retirees are roughly 40% more likely than traditional age retirees to experience clinical-level depression in the first 3 years. The effect attenuates after year 3 for most people. For a meaningful minority, it persists. Work is, for many people, the involuntary social structure that organizes their week, their sense of purpose, and their identity. Removing it without a deliberate replacement structure is, statistically, a significant source of suffering, even for people whose financial math is unimpeachable. The retirees who succeed share 3 practices. They retire towards something specific, not just away from work. They maintain or build at least one weekly social commitment. And they accept that the first 18 months will involve genuine identity reconstruction, not just relaxation. 5 tiers. 25,000 in eastern Tennessee with the chickens and the ACA subsidy. $50,000 in a mid-sized Sunbelt city with 3 months of slow travel. The coast barista approach, the part-time job that exists less for the money than for the social structure work, was always providing in disguise. $115,000 with the volunteer board and the yoga class neither of you needed, but both of you required. $245,000 with the boat and the second home in the question still unresolved at your I-5 of what you are actually doing with this. None of these tiers are about the money. By tier 3, the money is solved. The remaining work, the work the spreadsheets do not show, the work the fire blogs from 2011 did not warn about, is the work of building a life that does not require employment to be coherent. Fire is the only retirement plan no employer offers. It is also the only retirement plan that requires you to construct from scratch the daily structure that employment provides for the rest of your working peers. The portfolio is the easy part. The Tuesday afternoon at 2 p.m., when no one is expecting you anywhere, is the part the math cannot solve. Last week, the variable that breaks more retirement plans than any other, healthcare. The fidelity number is $345,000 for a couple from age 65. The number is wrong. It is wrong by a factor of 2 for early retirees, and wrong by a factor of 3 for the last decade of life. Next week, we will be back with another great variable. Till then, peace.